This is what I had in mind when we started the Reform Caucus 2 years ago, a bipartisan group, bicameral group coming together on areas of consensus relating to government reform. We talked about the gift issue. The Senate version of that bill is co-prime sponsored by myself and Senator Eichelberger, who will be speaking in a moment. But it brings up the issue of what other bills will we be supporting as a caucus. We've had the fortunate problem over the last few months of colleagues coming up to us asking how we could support their efforts. And we certainly want to be able to do that. We're not a committee. We're not trying to be a committee. We're not going to be calling up bills and voting them out. That's not within our authority. But what we can do is put our collective voice behind the efforts of our colleagues when there's an alignment of mission and goals. And so after much thought and discussion, we established a process for how legislators who are not necessarily members of the Government Reform Caucus can get support. It's similar to a process we went through for Representative Saccone's bill, and I'll outline what it will look like, and this is something that we formally approved just a few weeks ago. A legislator comes to us and says, I want support from the caucus for my bill on X. We would take a vote of the active caucus members, and I'll get back to active in a moment. The active caucus members, if a majority decide that we want to talk with that member and hear them out and entertain that request, we will. We'll have such a meeting. We'll ask questions, give input, make comments, and then we'll conduct a vote. And if 2/3 of the active caucus members wish to formally endorse that bill, then we will. And we'll send a letter signed by George and myself as co-chairs announcing the endorsement of the caucus. The reason I focus on active members, and we keep track of who that is, and we define that for purposes of this process as having attended 3 of the last previous meetings, 3 of the last 5 previous meetings, either the legislator or staff. And we do that so that no one can game the system and suddenly become involved in the Reform Caucus and try to stack the deck to support their legislation. We want the process itself to have integrity. The goal here is to help do what we've been doing with our own bills that we've been putting forward, which is to have legislation that is meaningful, practical, and passable. And so we look forward to implementing that process, inviting our colleagues to talk with us and working with them to help our mutual goal of making fundamental reforms to state government.